in this Bible, it tells you that God made Eve from Adam's rib. But now there's just one problem with that. See, what you don't understand is that verse in a particular format that is placed is symbolic to genetics and metaphysics. Okay? So we got to remember the Bible is what? Holy Bible. Holy means sun. Biblios means book or papers. The Bible means sun book. The sun creates the electromagnetic spectrum. And the electromagnetic spectrum dictates how atoms and particles act on a physical plane. So this is when metaphysics crosses over and becomes physical. So metaphysics is the study of non-tangible existence. So basically anything underneath the vibratory state of 432 terahertz frequency, anything that vibrates to 432 terahertz frequency and higher becomes physical. So radio waves fluctuate underneath 432 terahertz frequency, but those particular waveforms are the source of all organisms' intelligence. So with that being said, that is metaphysics. So what we have to understand is when they said Eve came from Adam's rib, okay, they were talking about the mitochondrial Eve gene. The black woman comes from DNA. And as you can see, this is a pictorial representation of a rib, and this is what your DNA helix looks like. Your DNA looks like a rib. Okay? And so atoms, as you can see, vibrate into molecules. Then they become cells. Cells become tissues. Tissues become organs. Organs become organ systems. And organ systems become organisms. So we know that the first known organism was a black woman, aka the mitochondrial Eve gene, which vibrated, okay, and manifested into existence from atoms. So when they say Eve was made from Adam's rib, they're talking about the mitochondrial Eve gene, aka the gene that's responsible for all black people on the planet today, was manifested out of the universe due to the fluctuation of atoms. So first of all, that is why the story is so inconsistent, and it doesn't make, sense when you think about a woman coming from a man's rib, despite the fact that we can clearly see that everybody on the planet, including the woman herself, has a damn umbilical cord. And so we have to put the story in its proper perspective. So when it says God made Eve from Adam's rib, that is totally incorrect if you're reading it from a non, let's say, esoteric perspective. Now, let's keep it moving. The Adam and Eve story is a lie, part 2. Clearly, we can see 2 chromosomes here. Now, this pink chromosome is the chromosome of the woman. This blue chromosome is the chromosome of the male. Clearly, we can see that this pink chromosome is 2.8 times larger than its blue self. And so this chromosome on the left is called a metacentric chromosome, meaning equal in all lengths of strands. This is a submetacentric chromosome, meaning that certain lengths of strands were substituted out. So clearly we can see that you can't get this from this. You can never get the greater from the lesser. You only can get the lesser from the greater. And so we can see genetically and biologically that woman could not have came from man, and that man only could have came from woman. And so, the beginning of the book is very critical. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if Adam and Eve never happened, then the rest of the motherfucking book never happened. So technically, there's even no reason for me to do the rest of this goddamn PowerPoint, because we just smashed the Bible before it can even get started. We just ripped it out the roots. And so Genesis, meaning the origin and production of something, this is why all creation stories take place in the book of Genesis. If there were no descendants of Adam and Eve, because Adam and Eve never happened, then the Bible never happened. And so case motherfucking closed. And so, as I just said, I don't even need to finish this goddamn PowerPoint, because it's already, the battle's already won. And so everything from this point on is just, slaughterhouse damage. Now let's keep it kicking. Demonize